So it's the day after my birthday. I am now officially 41. And sitting outside early in the morning, enjoying the warmth of Florida, watching my tortoise meander around outside. And I was scrolling through my stuff, and I saw a couple of hate comments under my video where I talked about my panic attacks, and where I talked about the dude who had road rage and fucking kicked in my shit. And this individual accused me of lying. Said, "Oh, that didn't happen. Well, why didn't you video?" Now, apparently, this person's a troll, and whenever YouTube deems you as a troll, your comments aren't seen by anyone but you. So the comment, I didn't even know the comment was there. I saw that there were like 3 comments under that shitty little video, and when I went into my creator studio, I saw what the comment actually said, and they accused me of lying, saying that I did not get attacked, and how come you didn't get it on camera. And I explained in the video, the reason why I didn't get it on camera is because I have an A15 Samsung. This phone, I don't know what it is. It has low memory or something. I used to have an S-class phone, but hubby and I went to a pool party and destroyed both our phones. And so we both had to get phones, and I picked the A15 because I didn't know anything about phones, and I still don't know anything about phones, and mine has a little bit low memory. So when it comes to opening up your camera, there's a lag. I was running my GPS, and when I'm running my GPS on this phone, you can't open another app. You have to actually optimize your phone before opening the GPS, or it'll freeze. Or the GPS will just randomly shut down and then restart and then tell you that you're in an incorrect location. And, you know, when you're going to client houses, it's really easy to get lost. So my GPS was running when this guy crosses over in front of me and does his shit. And I wanted to get him on camera. By the time I got that camera open, he was sped off, because I don't think he intended to actually break my mirror. I think he was just trying to scare me. And there's a lot of racial tension going on. We'll just leave it at that. I don't think he intended to, but he was just like, ooh, little Asian mommy doesn't know how to drive. I'm going to get her, you know? Anyway, I mean, because when I wear my wig, I look Asian. I look like a middle-aged, like somebody's mom, you know, like, and I've actually received a lot of Asian hate, oddly enough, and I am not remotely Asian. I am Puerto Rican. So anyway, this troll comment said that I was faking it, and I could only guess. I know who this person is. There is a woman out there. She does hula hoop dancing or something like that. I don't even remember her name. She's been pissed at me for 2 years now because of the whole Adonis Paul incident. Recap of that. I was talking to a woman online about bullying, and she, like I said in my other video about Gypsy Rose Blanchard, if you sell me a good sob story, I fall for it. If you sell me a good story, I am on board. I am like, oh my God, this horrible thing happened to you. So this woman emotionally manipulated me into thinking that she was a victim of cyberbullying, when in reality, they were bullying her, but she was instigating it. Like, the dude would stop talking about her, ignore her, and then she would make like 60 videos talking about him, and then she would start like commenting on his shit, and she would just like be poking that bear. It's like, dude, if you got beef with someone, don't talk to him, block him, forget about him. And I told her that. I'm like, just don't block him and forget about him if he's bullying you. And she was like, you don't understand. you're probably on his side. And then she started attacking me. And I'm like, oh, okay, I backed the wrong horse here. Clearly, she was a nutcase who liked the attention and who was trying to, I didn't know it at the time because I'm such a moronic Pollyanna. I didn't pick up on it, but after showing my husband the whole thing and everything, he's pretty good at telling when somebody's a grifter. And he was like, she was trying to get you to give her money. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, that's why she kept saying, oh, I'm so broke, I'm so broke, I'm so broke. She wanted you to, you know, pony up the cash. Now, while this whole thing was going on, one of Adonis Paul has his own little baby reindeer. The hula hoop girl is like obsessed with him. She's like, I make him smile. She's kind of creepy that way. And she just fixated on me. And after I buried the hatchet with Adonis Paul and I kind of just moved on, this chick kept showing up in my mentions like all the time. For a long time even after Adonis Paul was like, all right, we're cool. Hey, we're cool. We're going to forget about this. She just kept coming back. Now, recently, I deleted the videos because I delete shit. I'm not doing it no more. I deleted stuff because I didn't want the drama to be on my channel. I didn't want to be involved in that. For some reason, she picked a fight with another girl. Another woman. Girl. We're not girls. We're all in our fucking 30s and 40s. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, this behavior. She made an account pretending to be me, then started picking a fight with this other chick who's like a mommy vlogger or something. And then this mommy vlogger got me in her crosshairs and was like, Alana, you are a dirty whore. She didn't say that, but I'm paraphrasing. And I was like, whoa, lady, who are you? I don't even know who you are. And then on Instagram, the mommy vlogger lady's followers started harassing me and saying that I was picking on her. And I'm like, I don't even know who you people are. Well, do a little sleuthing, and it turns out it's the hula hoop chick, the one who's obsessed with Adonis Paul. 2 years down the line, decides, ooh, I'm going to get Ilana by pretending to be her and then cyber harassing someone else and then sending all this hate in her way. I'm like, girl, how do you even remember me? You know? I forgot about you. Adonis Paul forgot about me. I forgot about him. But you're still sitting there in your weird, creepy little world thinking about all this weird internet shit. I mean, side-eye, okay? Maybe you need to go talk to a professional or something like that. Well, anyway, the mommy vlogger lady recognized that it wasn't me. She apologized. She was like, oh, sorry, I didn't, this person was pretending to be you. And then, theoretically, we dropped it. Well, come to find that there's all these anonymous sock puppet accounts, and every time I make a video, they're writing all this, like, nasty shit under my videos. If you look under my videos and you see that there's, like, 5 comments, but there's, like, only 4 of them visible, or you'll see 4 comments and there's, like, no comments visible, it's because it's these people. Now, YouTube has this mechanism where if they deem you as a troll account, they make your replies invisible. So these people are saying all this nasty shit on my channel, but nobody else can see it but me. But I can see it because I'm the channel holder, and I can edit. I can delete the videos if I want. I never delete them. I mean, the videos, the comments, comments. They're making comments on my videos. And it doesn't really matter because I don't really look at the comments of my videos because my videos don't get more than like 30 views a pop. My videos are more a private diary that if anybody were interested in looking at, they could, but most people aren't because I'm nobody. You know, I'm not like an influencer or anything. So to have all these consistent comments under my video tells me that this lady is probably the same lady who's still thinking about me 2 years later because I sided with another lady. Oh my God, this is so stupid. I am too old to be talking like that. This is like high school shit. But, whatever, one of the things that these trolls, I think there was maybe like two. I think one was an old lady and then one was that hula hoop chick. One of the things that they would fixate about was my ugly ass deck. Now, I'm going to tell you all the story about my ugly ass deck and why I took so long to demolish it. That deck was built by hand by my great uncle. His name was Annibal. We all used to call him Aniba. And he built that deck by hand. And it was actually the source of a very ridiculous family feud. Because, alright, so this is connected to the panic attacks and everything. My grandma was a beautiful woman. She looked like Elizabeth Montgomery. But she had some problems that resulted in a lot of my family members growing up with trauma. An example I can give is something that was very triggering during the Johnny Depp lawsuit. Johnny Depp's grandma, her name was Violet. That was his mother's mother-in-law. If you were a kid that did anything wrong, particularly his older sister, is what he said, his mama will call you Violet. And if you get called Violet, the person that she hates the most, her mother-in-law, you know you're in for it. You know you're going to get it. She'd be like, if Johnny Depp's older sister, didn't do the dishes, I don't know, I'm making something up, she'd be like, Violet, you better get your butt doing those dishes or something. And then all the kids would get scared and go, oh no, she said Violet, oh no. And that really was triggering for me, because my grandma, while she wasn't violent, did the same shit. Now, my grandma's mother-in-law, oh, look, a little lizard. Hey, little buddy. Hey, little buddy, you're cute. My great-grandmother, my grandma's mother-in-law, I gotta go check on the tortoise. Hold on. But she had green eyes. So green eyes in my family is predominant to some people, not all people. Also, behold, my deck is gone. Hold on. So some people in the family have green eyes, but most people have brown eyes like mine. Oh, look at the tortoise, is so happy. If a person had green eyes, they had what my grandmother, who was very superstitious, would say they had the spirit of coca. No, coca. In Puerto Ricans, we have weird nicknames, like Coca, Tato, Tuti, Cheo, Chico, Chuy. That's a Latin thing. We always have like funky little nicknames. If you got called Coca by my grandma, she's mad at you. She wouldn't hit you or anything, but she might gossip about you behind your back and start telling other family members all sorts of crazy stuff about you. And the crazy stuff she would say, nobody really believed. But the fact that your grandmother or a matriarch of the family is saying these toxic things about someone is hurtful, Now, I have a cousin who has the most gorgeous green eyes. And she used to make comments to me, another grandkid, about, oh, he has eyes like coca. Every time I look at his eyes, they're like coca. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? I don't know what it means, but it sounds bad, you know? And it just didn't, it didn't jive with reality. You know, it's not the way a grown-up should act. And it definitely is not something she should be saying to me. I have an aunt who has green eyes, who is a great daughter to my grandma. And if she ever got frustrated with my grandmother, because my grandmother was kind of a frustrating person, she was very passive aggressive. She would tell everybody, oh, she's angry like, oh God, watch out for her, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. My grandpa didn't have green eyes. He had like hazel brown. But she said, you see the color of his eyes? He's got the spirit of coca. Now, her and my grandpa were separated for pretty much most of my life. She would say that he was abusing her. But he was probably one of the most mild-mannered people you could ever come across. Whenever my grandpa would get mad, he would just be like, no, that's not right. Like what we say in Spanish, refufullando, which is grumbling to himself. But he was never the type of guy to get angry and throw chairs, you know, or like start punching holes in the wall. He was not that guy. He cursed, but it was always under his breath, kind of like Popeye. You're like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, you know? And my grandma would tell me all kinds of crazy stories about this guy. Now, I got this house particularly because on and off I lived in here most of my life. There were times when it was necessary for me to leave my house and live with my grandmother. And usually I noticed she had a 3-month shelf life with that, and then she'd kick me out. I would do something like I wouldn't put the coffee cups away the way she'd want or something like that, and then she'd want me to leave. And at first it used to hurt my feelings when she did that, but then after a while I got used to it because she would always, you know, come back around again. Like, she would start out angry, like, you put the coffee cups facing down instead of facing up. You're disgusting. Get out of my house. And then I'd leave, and I'd go back to my parents' house, and then a couple months later, she'd be like, oh, I miss you, come back, and I'd be like, okay, we'll pretend that whole episode didn't happen, you know? But while I was living with her, she would drink. Everybody in my family drinks. I drink. But when she drank, she would trauma dump. And to do that to a kid is not good. There's a movie called Great Expectations, right? Sometimes I felt like the girl in that movie a little bit with my grandma, because she hated men. She wanted me to hate men. She wanted me to know that all men are rapists and they're all horrible. And the worst of them was my grandpa. Your grandfather did this, your grandfather did that. And while I guess their marriage sucked, I think they married at like 17 or something, I don't know. He was not abusive. He probably was just not compatible with her. And they didn't start their relationship in a way that made sense. But you see how I had to like psychoanalyze her? A grandkid shouldn't have to do that, you know? A grandkid shouldn't hear stories about how, you know, I heard your grandfather worshipped Satan. First he started out as a Rusa Christian, and then he started lighting candles, and then he goes to Santeros, and now he worships Satan. And I think if you look in his eyes, you see how they're not dark, but they're light. It's because he's got the devil in him. Like, she was kind of crazy old. And this is a derogatory term. Jíbara del Campo. This is a very, very demeaning term in Puerto Rican culture. It's basically like you're calling somebody a hillbilly, but it's got more of a negative connotation. Like, I wouldn't mind called a hillbilly because you got the Beverly Hillbillies. It's just a It's just an archetype. But Jíbaro del Campo is a nastier one. It's the country people of Puerto Rico. When my grandma grew up, she didn't have a floor. They had a fire pit in the middle of a hut. That was her childhood home. And then one day her dad got his hands on some scrap metal, and he was able to put a tin roof on their hut. And he was so proud, and he was living large because he got his scrap metal tin roof. So, sorry, there was a spider on me. So, I'm sure and there was some weird twisted stories she used to trauma dump on me about, like, she couldn't take a bath. There was no bath inside of the house. There was like a latrine that had a bucket that she would bathe in, and perverts would come and peek in on her. But the way she would tell the story, the way she framed it, oh no, but I was a tough kid, and none of them ever dared put hands on me because I would do something to them. And I had a wooden spoon that I always took with me, and when one of them put his hand inside of because apparently the little latrine that had the bathtub in it, it wasn't a real bathtub, it was a bucket that she would bathe herself in. There were holes between the slats, and creepy guys would come and put their hands between the holes to try to grope her. Now this is like probably an 8-year-old little girl, all right? There was some twisty things going on in the mountains of Manatí. But she would always tell the story, oh, none of them ever put a hand on me because I would fight them off. And then she would talk about how her grandfather tried to molest her, but she fought him off. And about how this one guy was giving her a ride in his fancy truck, and he took her to a cane field, but she fought him off with a nail file. And as she would tell these stories, in my mind, I would be analyzing. In my child's mind, I'd be analyzing. I'd be like, I don't think she's telling the truth. I think that's why she hates men so much, and that's why she hates everybody so much. I think that there were instances where things happened to her. So my grandma grew up unpredictable. She could get mad at you for the stupidest things, like having green eyes, or putting the coffee cups face down instead of face up. Or no, she wanted them face down. If you put them away face up. Because my mother always put the coffee cups away. When you do the dishes, you put them face up so that it can air dry. If there's any moisture, it can get out. My grandmother put them face down because she was always worried that, like, if any creepy crawlies like spiders or something came, or dust, it wouldn't go inside the coffee cup. Both are legitimate in my opinion. I don't think it matters. But it was enough to get you kicked out of the house. Now, there were reasons why I had to stay with her sometimes. So I didn't really want to get kicked out. So I would always have to kind of navigate her, walk on eggshells, and figure out her moods. Now, her brother built that deck. Aniba was his name. English, that is Hannibal. And he built it by hand. And she was angry at the work he did. He also put down these tiles. These tiles were put down probably when I was like 9 years old. She had a problem with the way he did work around the house, and she cut him off. He built her the deck. I'm pretty sure she didn't pay him for it. I think she just bought the parts, and he did the labor. Him and his sons, I think, because there were a couple guys with him, came and they built this. And she refused to talk to him after that. Now, they did have some communication, I think, once her health started failing. Goddamn spiders. They did have some communication, but basically there was a family row. And it was over stupid things, like putting the coffee cup wrong or whatever. and or not emptying out the lint trap in the dryer, like, just weird roommate stuff. But she would build it up to be, well, you did that because you're possessed by the devil, or she would build it up to be, well, you did that because you intentionally know it bothers me. She had like a weird reasoning. Like, I remember when I was a baby, she thought I was going to be evil because she said I had hands like Fidel Castro. I don't know what the fuck that means. Well, anyway, this deck was built by my great uncle, and then she kind of cut him off, and there was feuds and stuff. And after she died, we didn't know if he died because she wasn't speaking to him. And that's shitty, That's weird to me. You're not going to speak to a family member because you guys are two pretty much refugees from another country. Yes, Puerto Rico is owned by America, but let's call a spade here. It's not the same country back in the 30s. All right? It was not the same country as America. She came to America, and her brother ended up coming over here. They reunited over here, and now she's going to fucking cut him out of her life because of a deck or because of lint in a laundry while doing the laundry? This doesn't make sense. So, I didn't want to demolish that deck, hula hoop girl. Now, for some reason, the hula hoop girl, this is going back to the Adonis Paul thing. For some reason, they kept fixating on that fucking deck. And the truth about the deck was, I didn't want to demolish it. I wasn't that close to my great uncle, but just the fact that she cuts these family members off for something stupid like a deck is wrong to me. She hated my grandpa, right? And when he died, everything he owned, my grandfather busted his hump. The man died well off, okay? He died well off. He owned 3 houses.